Welcome to the College Football Show on the Sports Talkline Network, where we talk sport 24/7, 365. I'm your host, Spinksy. This is the 17th show. Thanks for coming back all this time. Our show last week was huge. I'm going from the couch again, so hopefully that helps. On this week's show, we've got news. We've got the Big Ten coming back. We've got an interview with California Golden Bears PR guy, Kyle McRae, and we'll talk scores from the weekend. But let's start with the news from around football. Look, guys, as you know, I'm an LSU fan, and Coach O tends to be a bit too honest at times. It's really nice to have honesty from your coach, but Coach O can be too honest. Earlier last week, Coach O came out and said most of you guys have had COVID. That's not something that we should be sharing with the world, Coach. Thank you again for your honesty, but maybe some things should be kept a bit of a secret. So I know LSU and Clemson and a few other teams had huge COVID numbers earlier on. Those numbers have sort of dwindled down a bit more now. Guys are still getting it, but it's not as bad as it once was throughout tracing and all that stuff. So maybe Coach O doesn't keep running his mouth all the time. That'd be nice. So keep some things to yourself, Coach. Thanks, mate. In other news, Minnesota wide receiver Rashad Bateman, who opted out for the season due to COVID, is now trying to fight the NCAA to come back in. With the Big Ten coming back at the end of October, which we'll talk about later, Rashad Bateman wants to come back to play for the Minnesota team this season. He's probably going to go first round in the draft next year anyway. The kid is a superstar, and I can see him doing wonders. So whether the NCAA allows him to come back or not, I'm not exactly sure. He won't be the first one or the last to try to come back this year. Speaking of, the Tennessee Vols offensive guard Cade Mays, he's finally eligible to play for them this year after transferring from Georgia during the off-season. This kid is a talent. He fought the NCAA again all the way to try and get eligibility this year. He will now line up at guard opposite Trey Smith, and it looks like the Vols are going to have an awesome offensive line this year. So look forward to that going forward. So, and there was multiple games postponed this weekend, guys. I believe the Baylor-Houston game, the Florida Atlantic and Georgia Southern game, as well as the Charlotte and the UNC game were all postponed due to players testing positive for COVID. It looks like those games will be moved to early December, late November, I think. So, look, stick with that. Some of the games, these games will happen, guys. Things will get shifted around all the time. That's just part of it. So, at the moment, everyone's staying safe out there. So keep looking after everyone else. Keep wearing masks. Keep doing the right thing, and we'll all get through this together. In other news, the Big Ten is coming back. Yes, it's about time. So 5 weeks after the Big Ten announced that they would be postponing their season, the heads of football all got together and voted unanimously to bring the season back. So the president, Kevin Warren, copped a lot over the last five weeks. They were using the wrong testing. They were getting the wrong information. He didn't know what he was doing. He was in the wrong. He had guys trying to sue him. He had parents whinging all the time. The guy was just trying to do his job to protect the kids that are in these teams in his conference. Anyway, there's been an about face now. There's been new testing protocols out there, new rapid testing results. So I think Kevin Warren and the other commissioners, and the other presidents and ADs have decided they will bring back Big Ten football as of October 24th. So the schedule will come out this morning. There's going to be 8 games across 8 weekends. There's no built-in weeks at the moment for extra games or postponement of games, so that's going to be interesting to see whether if games get postponed. It doesn't look like they will be rescheduled. They'll probably just be cancelled. That means that the Big Ten will finish up on the 19th of December, the day before the College Football Selection Committee comes together to decide the Final Four. So with any luck, we're going to have a Big Ten team in the top 4 this year. There's a lot of talent through the Big Ten. I know the SEC takes up all that at the moment, and the ACC with Clemson and Notre Dame, but it looks like the Big Ten might be able to, if they're strong enough, to be able to have a guy in there, a team in there too. So stay tuned to Sports Talk Line. There's an article up there at the moment all about the Big Ten going ahead. So jump on there, check it out, guys. Trying to keep the show as short and sweet as we can. Coming up next is my interview with PR guy from the California Golden Bears, Kyle McRae. All right. Welcome to the College Football Show, Kyle McRae. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here with you.
Mate, so you are the PR guy for the California Golden Bears. What do you do as such with the team, and how has it sort of changed over the last couple of months?
There's a lot to it. It's pretty much everything that has to do with publicity. I've pretty much got a hand in or working with someone on. It could be website maintenance, could be setting up interviews, could be a lot of communication, a lot of writing, a lot of feature writing, you name it. There's a lot of stuff. How it's changed, the main thing that's changed about it is we're doing it all remotely. I'm sitting here working for the 7th month now in my living room. So that's how it's really changed, is you don't have that same interaction. In all honesty, that's one of the funnest parts of the job. So, I'll be looking forward to the chance when we go back and get a chance to do it in person again.
Yeah, do you miss that? Like, do you miss being around the guys and the camp and training and that sort of stuff? Or like, are you comfortable to work in your own house?
Yeah, I mean, the commute's a lot better now. That's one thing. Pretty much roll out of bed and, hit the living room. And I haven't got a haircut in over a year. So those two things, those make it easy. I will be getting a haircut when we go back.
Yeah, before you go back.
Yeah, I do miss the interaction, being around the team, developing those relationships. Because those are really important parts of the job, and you can still do it remotely. There's a lot of texts and a lot of phone calls, a lot of FaceTimes and Zooms and every other form of communication flying around. But it's not quite the same as being in person.
Yeah, obviously you would have had a heap of new guys come in this year who you probably haven't even spoken to, like face to face yet, because of all the stuff going on. So that's hard.
Yeah, I mean, we did have a group of guys that came in January, so I got to meet those guys in person.
Okay.
And occasionally I'll be on campus when they're recruiting those guys and they're making visits. But so there are some, I do know some of those guys a little bit. But, by now we would have already had gone through, all of training camp and a couple of games. And it would have been, a daily thing just about for, the past – we would be 6 or 7 weeks into it right now.
Well, the Pac-12 is obviously one of the only conferences that are still waiting to sort of get back out there. How are the guys feeling? Are they just waiting around? They want to get back out there? Obviously, you guys are trying to – the conference itself is trying to do the right thing and keep everyone safe. Everyone else is going ahead. It must be sort of tough to sort of sit back and watch everyone else go.
It is tough. We're the only Power 5 conference. There are some conferences that are not Power 5 in college football. Still a lot of people not playing college football. So it's tough. The guys want to get out there, but, we want to make sure they're safe and we want to do it the right way. And, in our situation, we're waiting for a couple of those things to come through, and hopefully they will, and hopefully we'll be out there sooner rather than later. But, that's one of those things right now in my position that I can't control. I'll certainly report about it when it happens and let other people know. But, you like to control the things you can. And for me in my role, it's something I can't control.
Yeah, exactly. And look, over there at the moment in California, you guys have got wildfires, you got earthquakes, you got COVID. How are the guys still keeping fit and keeping active and sort of trying to keep a positive mindset, really? Like, because I believe you can't practice in groups of larger than 10. Is that still the case?
Right now it's 12 by our local health order. Obviously those are things that are being discussed as we try to move forward, but it's been that way since June. The air quality issues that you bring about, those are certainly a factor. Unfortunately, they've kind of been a factor every year, the last several years during wildfire season. You guys are across the globe and there's always probably it certainly is a big deal, but, it may sound a little worse on the news reports than it actually is. We certainly have our issues here, but it is part of a kind of a seasonal event. And, we figured out how to manage it as well as possible. In past years, we've had to go inside on certain days. Obviously, with COVID, we have not been able to gather in large groups. We can't do that right now. But, we're adjusting the best we can. And, a lot of people in the world have it a lot worse than we do. We're just trying to figure out how to play football, and you've got to have a good perspective about that.
Yeah, we had our fires come through here in January, and so we all had masks on in January because of the smoke, and then we found we were just wearing masks all year. So that was good fun. Yeah.
2020, the year of masks, right?
Sure is, man. Yeah. So obviously, if you guys are going ahead sometime in the near future, there'll be a good couple of weeks' notice where you can sort of get everyone back together and practice again and sort of get that team vibe back. So I noticed the Big Ten has sort of come out during the week and said they'll be back end of October. So I think that gives them a good 5 or 6 weeks to sort of get their stuff together. So all going well, we'll either see you guys this year or in the fall or in the spring. So we'll just see what happens.
Yeah, I think the ideal situation would be to come back just slightly after the Big Ten. They're coming back on October 24th, but this is continues to be a fluid situation, and there are a lot of factors. Obviously, in football, you need to practice for a certain time to make the game as safe as possible, and you can't just turn on a light switch in football, and those are things that are being discussed, and how long it takes to get your team ready to be prepared to play in a football game. And those are some of the discussions going on kind of simultaneously along with trying to get the health orders in place.
Yeah, I sort of noticed that the last couple of days with the NFL too, without many preseason games as such, there are heaps of injuries now.
Yeah, yesterday was a difficult day in the NFL, and whether that was related to their training or lack of training, it's not really my expertise to know that. It could have been coincidental, but yeah, there's no doubt that there were a lot of big names injuries in the NFL yesterday.
Yeah, it hurt my fantasy team a few times, so that's bad.
Which team is that?
My fantasy team.
Oh, okay, I got you.
yeah. So, but I know I'm a Cowboys fan, so we had a huge win yesterday, so that was good. It was good to see.
Just so you know, the guy, if you've seen our social media, but the guy who had the long snap, on that winning field goal, he's from Cal.
Calvez, yes.
LP Ladisor.
Yeah.
So we put him out there. We gave him a little love on social media yesterday. The kicker gets all the credit, but
always does.
You had to get the long snap there.
We actually had the Cowbears out here in Australia about 4 or 5 years back, and so I've always sort of kept an eye on them. I think it was Jared Goff, your quarterback back then.
Yes. Yeah. I was on that trip. I was on that trip to Sydney.
Yeah. It was awesome.
2000. It was actually Davis Webb. It was 2016.
Yeah,
it was a year after Jared was done.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. That was good. I remember going up to the game. I remember most of the game, but I had several cold beers, so I can't remember exactly the final score. But yeah, it was an awesome game to see. So
we had a great time. We had a great time on that trip. It was a good thing for college football and a good thing for our program.
Yeah, I'm surprised it didn't sort of really take off. I think it happened twice, and that was it. So
actually, our rivals across the Bay Area, Stanford, came out. I think the next year.
Next year, yeah, and then
I'm not really sure what happened to it.
Yeah,
after
that was it. So
maybe it'll pick back up. It was certainly a great experience.
Yeah, it was good. So, mate, thanks for coming on the show. But the final question that everyone gets: do you keep your tomato sauce, your ketchup, in the cupboard or the fridge?
I didn't quite understand when you told me what that last question was going to be earlier, but that's an easy one. That one is definitely in the fridge.
Well, man, that's the response you should have. Fantastic. Thank you. This question.
That's the right answer?
That's the right answer. This question has divided my friendship group for years. And so I'm just taking polls as we go. So your Aussie punter, Jameson, keeps it in the cupboard. So he needs to get sacked. He needs to get sacked, okay? So get rid of him off your team. That'd be good.
I'll have to talk to him. I don't know if he told you this, but he's made it really easy on me. So he says all we need to do is call him Jam.
Jam, that's easier. Yeah.
So I don't have to worry about how to pronounce it or anything. I just call him Jam now. Very nice. Makes it great. So But he's a great guy, and I know he's been on with you. And
he sure is, yeah.
Well, we'd love to come back and keep you updated maybe when we get started.
Yeah, beautiful. That'd be great, mate. Thanks for coming on.
You're welcome. No problem, Chris. Thank you.
Yes. Righto, big thanks to Kyle for coming on the show, mate. And the dude keeps his sauce in the fridge. What a champion. Well done. Righto, guys, some big results from the weekend. The Clemson Tigers played the Citadel in what should have been a cakewalk. Those of you who like to gamble, like I do, their line was 51.5. They had 49-0 at halftime, and we thought this is going to be a cakewalk. Turns out 49-0 was the final score. No one scored a point in the second half at all. Lots of changes were made on the field, but for you to score 49 in the first half and not score after that, something was definitely going on there. Another game which took my attention as such was KC State and Wake Forest. 87 points in total were scored. Wake Forest got the win in the end, 45-42. Big result out there. No defense at all out there, but good to see Wake Forest come away with the win. So the game of the week, guys, was certainly the Miami Hurricanes and the Louisville Cardinals. The Hurricanes came away 47-34. Both teams were looking excellent to start the season off. And it looks like Derek King, the Hurricanes quarterback, has been doing really good this season. 18 of 30 attempts for 325 yards and 3 touchdowns. The Hurricanes are looking strong. As I've said for the last couple of weeks, maybe the U's back. Maybe. Currently ranked 17th, but the AP 25 comes out today, and they'll certainly move up the ranks there. Look, guys, trying to keep the show short. Thanks for coming on again. It's good to see you. Hooroo.